Hi there, it's November the 29th. We're almost finished the great month of November, which surprisingly enough has actually been pretty good for a number of franchisees and very challenging for others. So I'm going to talk about the pricing in a couple of minutes. First of all, I'm back obviously from the UK and had a good trip there. One minor thing that comes out of that, and I had said the same thing on a recent store visit in the US, is, safety doesn't mean that when your guys aren't wearing the safety glasses, that the answer I get when I ask where they are is that, the employee has access to them and they're in the office. Your responsibility is that they're wearing the safety equipment and doing and acting safely at all points. So when I was on the flight coming back from the UK, I was reading the Wall Street Journal, and they have their little table listing the various commodities, and it was interesting on that, and this is earlier in the week, that aluminum was at a 52-week low, iron was at a 52-week low, and it just every metal that was listed in their commodity chart is at a 52-week low. And then in our Canadian business paper, the Globe and Mail, they had a full-page spread today. And I'm just going to talk about some of the things that sort of come out of both of those articles and other things I've read. So metallurgical coal prices are down 75% from 4 years ago. Iron ore is down $191 over the same period to $45 a ton. This is all US dollars. Right now I know that 2 of 3 Canadian primary manufacturers are in bankruptcy protection. I read an article in The Economist about 3 or 4 weeks ago in which The Economist was essentially beseeching the UK government not to provide subsidization to the UK mills, which are mostly in Wales and then up north, to prevent them from closing down. The 3 main reasons, according to this article in the Globe and Mail, are the China slump, which is more severe than originally anticipated, and also, more importantly, when you get into the economics, there's ample supply of metal right now, but because there was more production coming online because this China slowdown wasn't anticipated, there's still more coming. Other people who have better economics are actually building new mines, including an $11 billion mine that's about to be finished in Australia. And it's sort of the classic prisoner's dilemma, where there's no logic in cooperating with your competitors because they're not going to cooperate with you, and you're doing all you can to keep your production going, at least if you can make a contribution to overheads over your fixed cost and production cost. So that's going to cause problems. So you're going to utilize your existing mine as long as you can. However, obviously getting financing or going ahead with a new one, you're not going to do unless you have a cost per ton or cost per pound advantage over someone else. And then the third reason is the strong US dollar is sheltering the mines that are in lower cost and weaker cost countries in the third world. One of the quotes in this article is that come 2020, which I believe is still a good four and a bit years from now, there'll be a time when mine closures and depletion will allow for a massive surge, and that's a quote, in prices. And I know, being an ex-banker who's actually a mining banker for 3 or 4 years, that bankers are like lemmings, and when it becomes no longer fashionable, which I suspect it has, not to finance these companies, that they'll stop doing it. So I think we're going to see some continued price pressure, so we need to keep advertising and marketing hard and selling to get the customers in the door and expand the customer base. One thing, I was at a meeting in England with James Hedifin. We went and met with a local service center there, and one thing they said, which I'm sure most of you would know, but I'm going to say it anyhow, is that they are maintaining their pricing to their customers unless their customers ask for a price reduction. And of course their system is different from ours. They actually have a price per ton that's listed in their system for each customer, and therefore they're maintaining it. And